Looking for financial support that strives to honor your community's rich heritage and cultural practices? Introducing RBC Origins. Our Indigenous banking specialists provide resources and advice that can help transform your ideas into tangible progress and community prosperity. At RBC, we're committed to driving your goals forward. Learn more at rbc.com/indigenous. RBC, ideas happen here.
I'm Rick Harp. This is your APTN News Brief for Thursday, July 31st. We begin with a new report highlighting the intersection between the disappearance of Indigenous women and human trafficking in Canada. Published by the Thomson Reuters news agency, it found the highest numbers of MMIWG cases to be in Winnipeg, Edmonton, and the Prince Albert, Regina, Saskatoon Triangle. Drawing on geospatial analysis, the study identified trends and connections between disappearances and sex advertisements. It says Indigenous women who go missing can proceed swiftly into what they call the sex ad ecosystem, with Edmonton and Ottawa showing particularly significant connections. Furthermore, Manitoba and Saskatchewan may serve as conduits for women victimized by workers in Alberta's oil and mining industries. In a statement, the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs said the report offers a painful confirmation of what families, survivors, and nations have told governments for decades. The AMC also called out the proximity of man camps to First Nations and say major resource projects continue to be greenlit without enforceable safety guarantees or protections for First Nations people. To the Assembly, quote, "That's what colonialism looks like in 2025, unquote. To Saskatchewan, where RCMP have released their annual crime numbers, a concerning trend, the high rate of intimate partner violence. Rachel May has more.
Interpersonal violence, as we know, is a prevalent problem right across the country, right across society.
Sergeant Nick Smith with the Saskatchewan RCMP Interpersonal Violence Unit says intimate partner violence, or IPV, makes up a large portion of the reports of violence they received in 2024. Smith says in Saskatchewan, over a quarter of all violent crimes are related to intimate partner violence, with offenses like criminal harassment, stalking, threatening phone calls, and marital violence making up many of those reports. He says that the RCMP does not track ethnicities of intimate partner violence unless it's a homicide, but the Mounties and other frontline agencies recognize there is a relationship between IPV and missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls.
We do know that through our other justice partners, reporting of intimate partner violence, that Indigenous women and girls are typically overrepresented. Our stats reported the number of victims of interpersonal violence across RCMP jurisdiction, which makes up a significant portion of the province. Often we see higher rates of intimate partner violence or in northern and remote communities. And this area would, of course, include many Indigenous communities and First Nations.
In reports from Statistics Canada between 2009 and 2021, homicide rates against First Nations, Métis, and Inuit women and girls were 6 times higher than for non-Indigenous women and girls. Statistics Canada is set to release a national crime report later this year. Rachel May, APTN National News, Saskatoon.
AFN Regional Chief for Ontario, Abram Benedict, has criticized the province's consultation meetings on Bill C-5, its controversial economic development law. The province has stated it will host a number of meetings with First Nations on the legislation this summer, with 2 stops in Toronto and 1 in each of London, Sudbury, and Thunder Bay. But Benedict notes none of the meetings are in the so-called Ring of Fire, the northern region where the mining of critical minerals will likely be fast-tracked under Bill 5.
A number of them are very northern communities, and a number of them are north of Thunder Bay. And so, it's not cheap for community leadership and technicians when we talk about regulation development to travel into Thunder Bay. And so there needs to be a bit more effort on the part of the government to make better efforts to meet with the folks in some more northern locations.
An out-of-control fire now rages near Lytton, British Columbia. a town no stranger to such threats. Large portions of it were destroyed back in June of 2021. Believed to be human-caused, the current 1.5-kilometer-wide blaze was roughly 10 kilometers out from town as of last night. Fire officials say the main challenges will persist until Thursday, with area temperatures expected to soar in the high 30s. And along with several First Nations in the region, residents of Lytton have now been evacuated. And finally, a youth from Hiawatha First Nation is eager to take part in a major U.S. fishing competition next week. But as Annette Francis reports, the teenager almost didn't get to go.
The 2.75-inch gizzard shad imitates a minnow. I have it on a drop shot rig, this is what it's called.
15-year-old Damien Kimball knows a lot about fishing. It's been his passion for over a decade.
I just grew up around the right area, good fishery around here. A lot of guys do it. Just something I love, my ancestors used to do. I started off fishing with my grandpa when I was really young. Eventually I got in some boats with some other older guys, fishing with them, and doing it by myself now, doing tournaments and all that.
Kimball qualified for the Junior Series National Championship earlier this year by placing second in a high school competition. For months he'd been preparing for the competition, which will be held in Evans, Georgia next week. But with a sudden change in rules, where second-place finishers were now not qualified, he almost didn't get to go.
Been a big thing for us.
According to his grandma, Stephanie, it was a huge disappointment.
The fundraising that we've done and trying to, prepare, getting time off of work and stuff like that to go down there to have him experience this.
It took some time, but she successfully convinced the organizers that all this preparation work would be in vain. So they allowed him back in, and now he's hyped and ready to go.
It's going to be an awesome tournament. 250 boats down there, a lot of guys from all over the world. It's going to be fun, really good experience.
Kimball knows his stuff. He does his own research and takes whatever tips he can from other fishermen. According to his grandfather, when it comes to fishing, he's a natural.
We started with him when he was probably about 4 years old out in the boat with a Spiderman fishing rod, and he caught the biggest fish that was about that big, and the excitement in his eyes showed that he was going to continue fishing for a long time.
Win or lose next week, Kimball plans to continue competing well into the future.
Come back up here and do more tournaments. I got a qualifier on Lake Erie to go back down there next year somewhere in the States, so we'll see how that goes, and yeah.
Annette Francis, APTN National News, Hiawatha First Nation.
And that's your APTN News Brief for Thursday, July 31st. I'm Rick Harp.